Hey guys, I'm here for dinner. Thanks for joining me. Dinner is usually a quiet, lonely time, which is fine. I mean, every meal really is, unless I really make plans with somebody. But yeah, I came to Panera Bread. I just got done with my workout. I go to this. It's kind of like CrossFit. It's circuit training, like HIIT training. So you're constantly for 30, 40 minutes. Your heart rate's just like, you get a little bit of rest, maybe in between, but it's just a constant go, 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 which is great because for a long time I was just doing weights, just standard weights. Back in the day, probably, no, yeah, maybe about 14 years ago, I kind of just started this type training of just doing weights because I wanted to do bodybuilding, and I did that for so long. And then I had a few trainers throughout my life. I had one, and I always did well. Like if I hired them and they gave me workouts and I did their meal prep, I always did pretty good. But it's just maintaining that kind of eating and that kind of training. Like one, I would do cardio for an hour, and then I would do weights. And the time I ate was the same every day. What I ate was the same. It's really hard to keep up. I've been up and down with weight. My most weight I've ever been was like 196 pounds, which I'm only 5'4", 64 inches. So now I'm about 170. When I went from 196, I went down to like 160, but I lost like 30 pounds. And people were like, "Are you sick?" And they weren't used to me seeing me that weight. But I think I'm at a healthy weight now. I mean, I don't have a six-pack or anything, which I would love to, but I really have to stay away from sugar or sweets. But I came to Panera Bread and I just got a salad. So let's see what it looks like. So what are these things called? Mukbang? So if you have nobody to eat dinner with, here I am. It's pretty good. Nice and refreshing, although I didn't get anything to drink, but it's okay. This is a nice Panera Bread. It's a drive-thru. I've never seen a Panera Bread drive-thru before. I wasn't really all that hungry, so I'll probably box half of this and then eat it tomorrow. I tried intermittent fasting. That went pretty well. But yeah, yesterday I didn't go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. I missed 3 days. Usually I try to go at least 5 times a week. 4 or 5 times a week. So somewhere even. But I'm just making videos because why not? What else am I gonna do with my life? But I love the so this has blueberries, strawberries, tangerines, pineapple, and chicken. I love, oh, and pecans, yeah. Sorry if I'm chewing in your ear. You know what I think is crazy? Which is annoying to me. Annoying as crap. There's like people on YouTube, which I didn't even know that was a thing. And it actually, I knew somebody that would play it, that would help them go to sleep. But they would like whisper in the microphone. They'd be like, it's so weird. It's like if you had a microphone to a cat's or dog's mouth while they're licking the bowl. It's like, and amplifying that, I'll be like, oh my god, I cannot. It's so annoying. I'm gonna. You ever hear your dog lick themselves in the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep? It's hilarious. Mm-hmm. You stare at the dog, and the dog stares back at you. It's like, what? I'm like, it's 1 a.m. I used to have this cat. He was so cool. And I always feel, this is my recommendation with cats. If you're looking for, I don't know, like you have to manifest a cat, right? You say, okay, I'm open to having a cat. It would be awesome. You know, I want a pet, but I don't want to have maybe a dog. There's so much maintenance. Or you want a new member of the family. And you put that energy out there. It's like a cat will come to you, because that's the best way to get a cat. Like if you go to the pet store or go and try to adopt a cat. In my experience, I don't know if this is for anybody, if anybody can relate, but the time that I had a cat come up to me and like literally came up to me and like put its front paws on me. I was at my dad's house and it was this cat that kept coming in the neighborhood. My dad's got five or six cats, maybe 5 now. And at the time, he just couldn't take anymore. Okay, and I'm leaving a big part out. He has 22 dogs and some goats. Okay, but this cat kept coming in the neighborhood. He says, I can't really take any more cats. He was like, man, just take this cat. He really needs a home. And I took him home, and he ended up being a really great cat. He was loyal. He would leave and walk around the neighborhood, but he would always come home. And yeah, he used to scratch at my door at 3 a.m. just so I could pet him. I would hang my arm over the bed and just scratch. They love right in front of their tail. They love that spot. So today, it's really not about like psychology, or not that I really think that what I talk about, I don't have a degree in psychology. I actually went to college for psychology for like a little bit, but I never finished with a degree. I'm not a licensed therapist. I am a coach, but I'm not a therapist. But today is not really about the subconscious mind and stuff that I normally talk about. I do want to continue on with my series, but I've just been so busy. September is such a busy month for me because there's multiple birthdays. Me and my aunt have the same birthday. I had a friend on the 18th, 2 friends on the 14th. My nephew's is this week. It's crazy. Virgos, baby Virgos, the best. I wonder what it'd be like to date a Virgo, like date myself. Because like the Virgos I know were pretty similar. Like I have a lot of Virgo friends. Oh, I had another friend that was on the 2nd? No, 4th? So I am drawn to Virgos. I actually met somebody when I was stationed in Japan. She had the same birthday, same year. We were born on the same exact day. And so I'm drawn to Virgos. I guess as like friends, but I wonder why like I haven't met. I've never had like a love interest as a Virgo. Yeah, I've had. Yeah, probably every month else. September, August, October, July, February, May. I'm not really good at signs. I just know mine. I know Libra's right after me. And I know Cancer is July-ish. So, yeah, and I can't really say I favor one or the other. It does depend on the person. Not everybody's different, not just because of their sign. But I didn't get to go to the gym yesterday because I was volunteering. I was helping put labels on packages and bundles as packages so they can send them to the post office. So it's this big marketing campaign that's pretty awesome. I think maybe I could talk about it more later on, but this is not really important right now. But what's important is what you've been up to. You can write down in the comments and let me know, and you can chat. I wanted to start a Telegram, just kind of like keep up with folks that are in the community. So this one's not live. I think I've made maybe. I'm gonna post it tonight, but I think I've made 3 other videos, and then the other ones have been live. I mean, I don't have a following. I have like 14 followers, but you gotta start somewhere. Look at Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast was at the fight, Canelo and Crawford. And I'm like, man, this guy was doing the same thing that how many people out there have done it. They started, and when you get to that level, it comes down to consistency and not giving up. I found great videos from some people, and I go and look, and I was like, oh wow, they made this like 6 years ago. And then you go, and that was their last video, was 6 years ago, and they got over 100,000 subscribers, and I'm like, wow, I wonder what they're up to. So, but today, me and my nephews, we went for breakfast. That was fun. But yeah, I'd like to know how you guys are doing. I heard a good answer to respond to that is saying, how are you, instead of saying, oh, I'm good or great, because a lot of people lie. On average, I'm not making it up. There's research out there that says that usually when people are asked, how are you doing, they say good. This out of like a response or a reaction. So instead of saying that, and you can keep the conversation going, is saying, oh, I'm a 1 out of 10, or, well, 1 out of 10 is really bad, but I'm a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, I think on average, I do pretty well. For me, I have moments, But, I mean, I've known in the past where I've struggled, I've stayed down for a few days. Like today, I actually took a nap. I stayed up late just because my mind, for some reason, wouldn't let me go to sleep, and so I stayed up late. I stayed up late like 2 in the morning. Just couldn't fall asleep, and then when I did, I had to watch my nephews this morning, so I was up at 7, so I had about 5 hours of sleep, and we hung out, and then we came back to the house, and their mom came home, and then I took a nap for like an hour, but I had signed up for the class for gym, and then yeah, came to the gym, but I woke up an hour before a half hour before I had to leave for the gym, and I was like, man, like, I don't want to leave. I'm lazy. I'm feeling lazy, basically. And I always know that that's the hardest part. The hardest part is always like getting started. It's always making that first move. And you know, like once you get going, then it's easy. And that's how I felt. I said, I know if I go and get to the gym, I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna forget how lazy I was at the house. So I go and I get dressed and drive over, and I feel great now. I'm really glad that I did it. So for this gym, you can do a few different signups. You can do 2 times a week, 3 times a week, or unlimited. So right now I'm only in like 2 times a week because I've only started this for like a month now, and I'm gonna work up to 3 times a week, and then probably unlimited. The first time I had signed up for this gym about a year ago, I hurt myself. I had this mean, like, just knot in my back. It seemed for weeks, and I couldn't get past it. It was like from my neck down to my shoulder blades. I did massage, I did cupping, I did hot stones, and finally I think what kind of broke it up was, it's called dry needling. So if you go to an acupuncturist, sometimes they do it, or a chiropractor, where they get acupuncture needles and they put it in your muscle, in the knot, and they stick it in there until the muscle kind of like cramps up on it, and then when it releases, it just like finally is able to relax. It's like getting a hardcore trigger point massage, but like an instant. So it's intense, but I love it. And the reason I know about it, because I don't really, if I didn't never worked in physical therapy in the military, and I know those docs there, they were trained in it. If I didn't know about it before, I wouldn't really go and look for it. You can go to an acupuncturist, and maybe they will tell you about it, or a chiropractor, but it's not really something that's advertised. So yeah, but anyways, I'm lucky. I found my guy, and whenever I need him in a pinch where I've just, whatever I'm doing, either I've tried like the foam roll, heat, ice, or massage, and it's not working, it's amazing. So, but what I was doing, how I got hurt, I think is because I was doing 2 a days. So I would go to this really intense Olympic weightlifting type. Not that every movement that we do is like the Olympic, like doing snatches, and what are the other ones that they do that sometimes are kind of hard for me because of my shoulder. But I was doing, so this gym, and then my regular gym, I go to Planet Fitness, and I was doing too much. And so now I don't do the 2 a days. I do 2 times a day. I do 2 times a week, this gym. So I usually do like somewhere. I don't do it back to back. And then in between, I do my other gym. which I try to keep up that strength, doing just regular shoulders, back, bench press, chest, legs. So we'll see. I don't want to get hurt again. Yeah, so I think these mukbangs were just chatting, not really going off of anything super topic. I mean, that's how you interact with people anyways when you're eating. It's just, how you been? This is what I've been up to. But I'm doing all the talking. Anybody getting the new iPhone? It looks pretty nice. It looks like it's thin. I haven't seen it in person. But I got the 15. I've had iPhone since when it first came out, which was, 2009, 10? I went from the Razor to Apple, and just have Apples ever since. I remember I had got a Razor phone, I think right in 2008. When I came back, I was stationed in Japan. And in 2008, we were just on the Razor flip phone, Motorola flip phone. And I remember in 2007, when I was stationed in Japan, they already had phones where you could see each other and you could play music off of. I mean, it wasn't the best quality, but still, they already had that going. And we didn't even have FaceTime cameras until what? 2000. I want to say after 2010, 11, 12, something like that. This is good that I'm talking and eating, because I always eat so fast that I need to take my time. Then I always overeat, that's the thing. I have a problem. I think I don't know if it was just natural for me, but especially in the military, they teach you how to eat so fast. And you just kind of never lose it until you're like just really consciously always trying to work on it. So yeah, tomorrow I don't really know what my schedule looks like. There's some things up in the air that might happen, but I mean, like I said, I want to do this very consistently. I'm trying to do this every day. There's just some days it's just like you don't get any alone time, so it's okay. But it's been one heck of a week, though. I can't believe. I mean, it hasn't been many times in history where we've seen somebody get shot in live TV, in live footage. Like JFK getting shot, and then this poor young guy, like, wow. I mean, it just really gives me goosebumps. It's just so sad. So feel bad for his family, his kids, wife, his parents. Just wow. But I mean, there's really nothing I can say that hasn't been said already. It's just sad for them. It's really sad. But what else happened this week? Boxing. I don't know how many of you are into boxing, but that was a really good fight. And all of the fights that night, I think they all went the distance. They all went to, so all of the rounds, no one got knocked out. And I am of Mexican heritage, but I was rooting for the underdog. And I'm really like, I'm happy that Crawford won. I would have been fine either way. I'm not really like a huge fan of neither, but I always love rooting for the underdog. Usually because too, like, I love the Detroit Lions, and we've always been the underdog. I mean, we've been doing really great the last few years, but I love those kind of stories. But when he was walking out to the ring with mariachi music, I mean, and just the look in his eyes, he was just so relaxed, so like, he looked so calm and poised, and just, he looked like he was floating, you know, and just, he was on it that night. He was just focused, and man, that was a good fight. They both did really well. I mean, Canelo he's a great fighter. Boxer is debatable, just because he can get outboxed. He is a fighter though. He has strong punches, and he can take a mean punch on the chin. But there's some people out there that's been able to outbox him. But he's a good fighter, and so is Crawford. And then the next day, Detroit Lions play the Chicago Bears, and it's just, they did very well. But I was like, you better beat the Chicago Bears. You know, their head coach last year was on the coaching staff for the Detroit Lions. So you just kind of had to just shove it in his face a little bit, I guess. I see it's already been like 30 minutes. So, I know, guys, don't want you to get too bored. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. And I'm gonna finish up this salad and head home. And I'll see you tomorrow.